Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Brittany Folgers. Gun violence is out of control in Portland. Police responded to at least 13 shootings within 28 hours this weekend, and officers are stretched thin. With that as a backdrop, the Portland Police Union released a plan to double the police force over 5 years. But as Tim Gordon reports, critics would rather see money go toward other community resources.
The city that works is not working too well when it comes to policing. The head of the Portland Police Association says it's simple math.
The police force was larger, 20 years ago than it is today, with about 170,000 fewer residents of the city of Portland.
Daryl Turner is a former officer who leads the police union during difficult times. Gun violence is up, including homicides like the latest over the weekend at McCoy Park in North Portland.
People who are victims of violent crime having to wait 8 minutes for a response from a police officer. That is unacceptable, and that is not the police officer's fault. That is the fault of not having the proper staffing that we need to support a city and a metro area that we need to support.
Turner says the city currently has 916 allocated sworn positions, from the newest recruits to the chief of police. 794 are currently filled, with 59 in training. The police union released what it calls a 5-year vision for public safety and policing. It calls for a lot more cops. The PPA suggests the city hire 840 additional officers over the next 5 years, doubling the force. That would include rehiring 50 recently retired officers in each of the next 2 years, and lobbying the state to allow Portland to set up its own police academy to get large numbers of recruits trained and on the job.
We've been running on fumes for many years. So what we proposed were several options to be able to enhance the patrol function of our organization for the next few years, as well as building up with new officers coming in to the fold over the next 5 years.
The vision comes during a time of police downsizing. City leaders have cut millions from the PPB budget, and there are vocal critics who don't think more officers are the answer. Unite Oregon is one such group, which calls for more defunding. Its deputy director wrote, "This is clearly a bargaining tactic, and we as residents of Portland should ask ourselves, is the solution to the problems we are facing to throw more money at PPB, or is it to actually fund community-centered solutions like behavioral health and affordable housing?"
It is not greed. It is not trying to leverage contract negotiations.
The police union is bargaining for a new contract right now, but Turner says that's not what this is about. But we know there are competing interests for city money, including to expand the Portland Street Response, which sends paramedics and mental health workers to certain nonviolent crisis calls. A recent PSU study found that would be a good move.
We also reached out to Mayor Ted Wheeler's office. He is the police commissioner. A spokesperson said they wouldn't be making a statement today, but that the mayor will lay out his plan for PPB staffing in about a week. Tim Gordon, KGW News.
Police in Hillsboro are asking for your help to catch a person who robbed a gas station there. Officers were called to the Chevron station near Northeast Cornelius Road and Imbree just before 1:30 this afternoon. They say the suspect drove up, got gas, then went inside and robbed the gas station with a gun. Police say at least one shot was fired. The suspect drove off in a 2013 black Nissan Rogue with Mississippi license plate PRG 1454. They are considered armed and dangerous, so do not approach this person if you see them. Call 911 if you do see them or their car. A series of serious and deadly crashes has a local woman pleading with drivers to slow down. She says she's witnessed a number of accidents firsthand in her Northeast Portland neighborhood. Here's Christelle Kumwe.
As cars zoom by on Northeast Portland Highway in the Collie neighborhood,
it's a 45. People go 70, 80, 90 miles per hour through here.
Portia Jordan watches in disbelief.
I mean, from the time they get to 60th right there, when they get to the light, they're already speeding.
She's lived here for 27 years and wishes drivers would just slow down.
People live here. There's kids that live here. They get off the bus at school. They want to walk home. This is the only street they have to walk home to.
Portia's pleading with drivers now more than ever after a man was hit and killed right in front of her.
I was walking out of this door at the bar, and I seen a man crossing the street from across the way, coming this way, get hit by a dark blue or black SUV.
Portia says other drivers didn't even take time to stop for the man lying on the road.
A couple more cars hit him. He must have got hit by 13 cars by the time it was done.
It's not the only death she's seen on this road. Now she's calling for change.
If we can get some sort of solution to this problem, because so far the only solution has been death.
She believes a crosswalk could be a lifeline.
If we can get a crosswalk with a blinking light put up so people know that they have to slow down, or even if it's one of those kind of crosswalks that you have to hit the button before it flashes, that'd be perfect. You know, I like people walking through here all the time, but when they do, they should know they're safe doing it.
Portia's neighborhood is certainly not the only area of concern, and that's according to the Oregon Department of Transportation.
We've had too many places around the area where we're seeing pedestrian fatalities and pedestrian dangers in there. We're trying to find out what we can do, what tools can we bring into these areas to make sure that we're improving safety.
Don Hamilton with ODOT says the agency is aware of Northeast Portland Highway.
We've been looking at that very carefully, and we're going to determine if there's good safety improvements that we can make out there.
Until that time comes,
it says slow down, or the next person to get hit could be your kid.
Porsche wants drivers zooming by to slow down and look out for their neighbors.
We are one community. No matter what community you're in, just, make sure you respect each other, because that's not all we can really do. We have to live together no matter what. So be mindful. That's all I got to say.
Christelle Kumwe, KGW News.
A large portion of Interstate 84 remains closed tonight as crews continue work installing a new pedestrian bridge. The Earl Blumenauer Bicycle and Pedestrian Bridge will open next year. It'll connect the Lloyd District to much of southeast Portland. Right now, I-84 is still closed between eastbound I-5 to Cesar Chavez and westbound from I-205 to I-5. It's scheduled to reopen tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock, so if you're heading into work early or overnight, you will need to find a different route. Driving around today, you may have bumped into some changing weather. And how about this? Check out this video from our Timberline Lodge cam today. The resort is getting its first major snow of the season. Of course, we're still going to have to wait a while before we'll be strapping on the skis and snowboards to hit the mountain, but it's going to be here before we know it, and it definitely gets us excited about the season. Just love to see that. Well, clean water comes out of your faucets because of some really important technology. And for the first time in decades, Portland's wastewater treatment plant is getting a major upgrade. Galen Etlin looks at the impact and why it will not cost you extra.
Tucked away behind the scenes, construction is underway at Portland's wastewater facility.
It is a place that every resident, business, and visitor depends on.
Diane Dolkin with the Bureau of Environmental Services says this $400 million project is the most major upgrade to the wastewater plant in half a century. It aims to replace old infrastructure before it breaks down and expand water processing capacity as Portland grows. The upgrades include new clarifying pools like this one, only bigger. Old buildings will be deconstructed, with 90% of parts being reused to build new ones that are safer and more efficient. With the threat of earthquakes, seismic upgrades are included too. The idea is to keep the plant viable and maintain critical services whenever you flush a toilet or take a shower.
This plant operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
That's project manager Muriel Gesa-Teufel. She says the project started last year and is now ramping up, on schedule despite COVID.
Maintaining operation while you're doing surgery on the plant and adding new equipment is really difficult.
And despite the steep price tag, the city says Portlanders will not see their rates increase or a change in service.
And that's what Portlanders rely on us to do.
The project is set for completion in 2024. Galen Etlin, KGW News.